Jada Smith has been turning quite the heads these past couple of days with claims about Tupac proposing to her. Now the internet had their doubts about the authenticity of these claims, and it turns out that fans were right to question Jada. The American talk show host was exposed for lying about the entire ordeal by her own son. Jada Smith didn't waste a second to expose the truth behind her mother's claims about Tupac getting down on one knee for her. Just what did Jaden say? Why did he speak up against his own mother? And is there any truth to his words? Welcome back to Celebrity Fix, where we will be talking about how Jada Smith revealed how Jada lied about Tupac proposing to her. But before we give you the deets, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more videos. Jada Smith has been trending online for quite some time now. Sometimes she's in the news for being mean to her husband, Will Smith, and other times she's kicking up a storm for saying that Tupac almost proposed to her. Jada Smith talks all about it in a teaser clip from Matt Barnes and Stephen Jackson's All the Smoke podcast. The full episode will be out on October 19, 2023. According to Jada, Tupac proposed to her back when he was in prison. For those of you who don't know, Tupac served 8 months in prison back in 1995 for sexual abuse charges. During the podcast episode, Jada revealed that she visited Tupac while he was in prison on Rikers Island. Visiting him in prison was not easy on Jada. It was also during one of these visits that the rapper decided to pop the question. Thankfully, Jada knew better than to say yes. She realized that Tupac was only looking for a connection. Jada said, "So when he asked me to get married, I knew at that time that he needed somebody to do time with him, which I was going to do anyway. You ain't have to marry me to do time, I'm here."
She's been talking to pretty much everybody. Now, she was talking to Crystal Jordan at Rolling Out and just talking about her, how she felt about Tupac and their chemistry.
If there is such a thing as past lives, I definitely think Pac and I have traveled a few together, in various forms. So,
has there ever been a time that you regretted the decision that you made not to take it to that level with him and to keep it in the friendship space?
It just wasn't possible. There was no chemistry between us. I talk about it in the book.
It's just hard to believe. We see chemistry with the two of you guys, even in the videos. The videos you guys dance, and there seems to be so much chemistry. But from your perspective,
it's that friendship, love chemistry.
Okay.
Trust me.
The internet has more or less been taking Jada's claims at face value. Fortunately, we don't have to anymore, as Jada Smith, Jada's own son, has stepped forward to clear the air. Now it's not like Jaden hates his parents. In fact, he loves them very much. When the entire controversy with Will Smith at the Oscars went down, Jaden showed his support by tweeting. And that's how we do it. However, unfortunately for Jada, Jaden didn't feel like extending the same support to his mother. But don't worry, the American rapper had a good reason for doing so. He had been turning a blind eye to Jada's actions for a long time now, but he had reached his limit. You see, Jada's obsession with Tupac is nothing new. For years, she's talked about Tupac as the perfect man, which might explain why Jada's own daughter, Willow, wrote a letter to the rapper at the young age of 11 asking him to come back and make mom happy. She wrote, "Dear Tupac, I know you are alive someplace. I think that my mommy really misses you. Can you please come back? Can you come back so mom and me can be happy? I wish you were here. I really do." Now, Tupac had been dead long before Willow was born. So the only way she could have known about him is if Jada had talked about him endlessly to her kids, which brings her parenting skills into question. Because what kind of parent talks about her past love affairs with her kids to the point that they write letters to them? While Jaden had no choice but to keep up with his mom's comments as a child, he's all grown up now, and he can no longer turn a blind eye to her comments. Jada raving about Tupac in public like this is only insulting to Will. Not to mention that Tupac has been dead for years now. So the fact that Jada is still talking about him only raises questions. However, it's worth mentioning that back when Tupac was alive, Jada and him were tied at the hip. The two knew about each other before they had made it big in the industry. In fact, the two had the opportunity to go to the same school, the Baltimore School for the Arts, and were even classmates.
You talk a lot about Tupac Shakur.
Yeah, the relationship with Tupac. How did you guys meet? What was the beginning of that relationship like?
We met in high school.
right, in the 10th grade. And, you know, he immediately, we had, you know, an instant connection.
Surprisingly, the friendship remained strong as the two made it big on the global stage. Then somewhere along the way, Jada crossed paths with Will and the two hit it off, which was shocking because, for a long time, fans thought that Jada and Tupac were a thing. But both of them denied anything of the sort between them. According to them, they were only friends.
And I really get to, I'm so glad that I get to really talk about our friendship in depth, because a lot of people think that Tupac and I had a romantic relationship, and we did not. I really want to stress that.
Yes.
We did not have a romantic relationship, even though we were really close.
And yet, Will couldn't help but feel jealous. In fact, he continued feeling jealous even when Tupac passed away. He even brought it up in a couple of interviews.
You ever jealous of the love Jada had for Tupac?
Oh, yeah. But she just loved him like he was the image of perfection, but she was with the Fresh Prince, you know? So it was like, I never could, like, even we were in a room together a couple times, I couldn't speak to him, you know?
Now at first, fans bashed Will for not getting over Jada's harmless friendship, but it looks like Will had a good reason. According to Jaden, Jada never let Will move on from her friendship with Tupac. She kept bringing him up and praising him years after he passed away. On the other hand, she never talked about Will that way. In fact, from the way she was talking, you'd think that she wanted nothing to do with Will and wanted to marry Tupac instead. Add in the fact that Jada publicly admitted to not wanting to marry Will in the first place, and you've got yourself a puzzling situation. Jada actually revealed that the only reason she walked down the aisle with Will was because Jaden was on the way. Mind you, she said this in front of her kids.
I really didn't want to get married, but
we only got married because Gammy was crying.
I was under so much pressure, you know, being a young actress, being young, and I was just like pregnant. And I was just like, I didn't know what to do. But I just knew, I was like, I never wanted to be married.
Not to mention that Jada never appreciates anything that Will does either. There was that time when Will spent years planning Jada's 40th birthday only because she was in a depressive episode at the time. Now anyone in Jada's position would have been over the moon, but that wasn't the case for Jada. She thought that Will was only doing it to flaunt his ego.
The day after her 37th birthday, I hired a team to orchestrate her 40th birthday. I had hired a documentary team. I traced Mommy's family roots. Going to be the thing that lifted her out of this midlife crisis, and it was going to be my deepest, most beautiful proclamation of love. And she's told me that the party was the most ridiculous display of my ego.
And it gets worse. But before we give you the tea, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more videos as well. And while you're at it, make sure to share the video with a Jada fan as well. Now back to business. There was also a time when Jada told the public that Will didn't satisfy her in the bedroom.
Tell me what you need, tell me what you want, and on top of it, I know that I have to be accountable to do the same.
And do you?
I really try.
And there's more to Jada's hypocrisy. It looks like she made up the whole thing with Tupac to mess with Will. One TikTok user pointed out how Tupac only stayed in Rikers for a month. He was transferred to the Clinton Correctional Facility. Not to mention that Tupac was married at the time, so his proposal to Jada doesn't really make sense. And that's all for today. What do you think of the situation? Do you think Jaden is telling the truth? Why would Jada lie about something like this? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more videos. We will see you next time with more updates from the celebrity world.